One of the biggest things I've come to realize about God is the way that He has moved in my life, it doesn't make sense. And I feel like I'm always trying to speak to people and use my testimony and use my voice so people can really understand that God does not think linear the way that we do. Like in our life, we're like, okay, I see this job. All right, this looks like a good job. So I want to move forward and I want to get that job because it makes that dollar amount. And then from there, I can grow my career and I can move up to this and I can do like, we always think linear. If I do this thing, it leads to this thing. And that's the order. But what we have to realize is that we think in a box. A lot of us have small boxes. Some of us have bigger boxes. But what that means is that we have limitations. That means that all of us, we can only process what makes sense because of what's in our box, what's familiar to us, what we've done before or what we've seen before. And so the way that God works, He's limitless. He's not in a box. There are no boundaries for Him. Meaning that for me, in my particular situation, I was in a great position. I had just got a promotion to a head director level that I'd never had before. Got removed from that position 2 months later while I was laid off. Seemed like a setback, right? For me, that was the linear move to be able to move up. God took me out, placed me at the bottom, placed me in a role that I had no experience in, got me connected though with other people, got me focusing more on Him, leaning more into Him. And then He started navigating me into other areas and for me to now get promoted. But the way that God works is that you just have to have the faith because the things that He does, they're not going to make sense to our actual carnal mind. I'm just thinking about my husband, trying not to even share his business, but I'm so excited for him. But just seeing the way that God has been working in him. Got laid off from his job months ago, decided to open and expand his mind to look into other positions. Ended up doing that while he had an interview for one place. They recommended him taking jewelry classes. He did that, got certified. Guess what? He got the certification and he did not get the job for the company that sent him. But guess what? He randomly did a commercial. From that commercial, the company happened to call him back, offering him a job, not even knowing anything about him. Guess what? That jewelry certification that he got from a job that he didn't get helped him to get this other job that he wasn't even planning or expecting to get. Guess what? Now he's in that position, and guess what? Now he's in a position where he's with celebrities every day. He is around millionaires, billionaires, FaceTime calls, house visits every day. This is not something linear that he would have been able to do or accomplish by just working his regular job and trying to see it through and take all the steps that he was familiar with. No, this is the way that God works. He bounces you all around, and for you, it looks like it doesn't make sense. But to Him, He knows how everything is orchestrated and how it's supposed to play out. And that's why when I see things coming up in my life and I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to try to use my mind to understand it. I'm just going to follow the direction. I'm just going to go. I'm just going to do the thing that I'm supposed to do. And I know that God will reveal everything in its time. But what happens is a lot of us, we can't see the change while we're in the midst of change. And then that's where we start getting worried. That's when we start trying to get that mind working to fit in our box. All right, this is what I know to do. This is what I'm comfortable with. This is the process that I've done before. So how do I get my life to fit in this box and do this process again? Baby, you gotta get out the box. You gotta get out the box or you will forever be living in the box. That means that all of your decisions will always be what you're familiar with. How will you grow? If you can only do what you are comfortable with, if you can only do what you are familiar with and what you know, how would you ever grow? How would you ever grow to do something else? Because if you're not familiar with it, if you've never done it before, and if you're too scared to get out of your box to do it, then you'll never get there. You'll always continue holding something in your hand, but guess what? When God gives you a blessing, it better not be able to fit in your hand. This is what you have. This room is what God has. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my 2 cents on this morning, just as I was thinking about things. And just a reminder for you all out there, like, again, get out the box. Get out the box. Have faith. It can be a scary thing, but when I say I am living my best life having faith, and this is why I just try to scream this from the top of the mountains to people, like, there is a whole different lifestyle that you can be living when you have faith. It allows me to have freedom because I'm not trying to think all the time about every step I have to make. I just pray because I'm like, ooh, this looks crazy. Guess what? I did a video weeks ago about some business deals that I had. I had no idea how they were going to close. The people were all over the place. Guess what? All 3 of my deals have closed. Larger amounts than I even set out for them to do. But guess what? In the midst of it, it didn't look like it. In the midst of it, they could have all said, no, we're going to move a different direction. Guess what I did though? All I was doing was praying. Didn't know what was going to come of it, but I said, God, I'm just having faith. I'm just going to pray. And guess what? You're going to make all this crazy stuff work out, because to me, it doesn't make sense. But to you, you know exactly what's going on here. So have your way, God. And that's exactly what he did. But it can't be your way and his way. You need to move out of his way so that he can make sure that he's making a way for you. Again, you can't make a way for you because you have limitations. But God is a limitless God, a God of limitless possibilities. Isn't that the person that you want in the driver's seat? Or do you want to keep driving in the same lane your entire life?